There's this moment that happens to almost everyone in their 20s or 30s. You're scrolling through social media and you see someone your age who just bought their second house. Another person just got promoted to VP. Someone else is traveling the world while running a seven-figure business. And you look at your own life, your modest apartment, your decent but unspectacular job, your slowly growing savings account, and you think, I'm so far behind. I've been there. That sinking feeling in your chest, that voice in your head asking what's wrong with you. Why haven't you figured it out yet? Why are you still struggling while everyone else seems to have it all together? Here's what Charlie Munger would tell you, and what I wish someone had told me years ago. You're not behind. You're just looking at the wrong scoreboard. Munger spent his entire career watching people destroy themselves through comparison, not through lack of talent, not through bad luck. Through the simple act of measuring their progress against people playing completely different games. And once you understand this, once you really internalize it, everything changes. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. Smart guy, graduated with honors, got a good job at a consulting firm. By all objective measures, he was doing well, making $70,000 a year at 26. No debt, saving money, building skills, on a solid trajectory. But Marcus was miserable, absolutely miserable. Why? Because his college roommate had started a tech company that just raised $5 million. Another friend from his program was making $200,000 at Google. His cousin bought a house at 25. Marcus spent 2 years in agony, convinced he'd made wrong choices, convinced he was falling behind, convinced everyone else had figured out some secret he was missing. It ate at him every single day. He'd wake up anxious, go to bed defeated, constantly questioning his decisions. Then one day, he ran into his roommate, the tech founder. They grabbed coffee and his roommate broke down, told him the company was failing, that he hadn't taken a salary in 8 months, that he was working 90-hour weeks and his girlfriend had left him, that he had stress-induced health problems at 28, that he looked at Marcus's stable job and regular paycheck with envy. The friend at Google hated his job, felt like a cog in a machine, made great money but had zero autonomy, was already burned out and looking for an exit. The cousin who bought a house, over-leveraged, house poor, couldn't afford to do anything else, tied to a location he didn't even like because of a mortgage he could barely handle. Everyone Marcus thought was ahead of him was struggling with their own version of behind. They were just struggling differently, playing different games with different rules and different scorecards. That's the insight that Munger hammered home throughout his career. There is no universal scoreboard. There is no single definition of success. There is no linear path that everyone should follow. Yet we torture ourselves by pretending there is. You know what Munger did that was so unusual? He didn't start getting really wealthy until his 50s. Think about that. One of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett's partner, the man with a net worth in the billions, didn't hit his stride until most people are thinking about retirement. He spent his 30s and 40s as a lawyer, building a practice, raising kids, learning, reading, thinking, developing the mental models that would later make him extraordinarily successful. If he'd compared himself to the hotshot investors of his era, he would have felt hopelessly behind. But he wasn't behind. He was on his own timeline, playing his own game, building his own foundation. This is what we get wrong about success. We treat it like a race with a single finish line. Like everyone starts at the same place, runs the same course, and whoever gets there first wins. But that's not how life works. That's not how success works. That's not how any of this works. Some people sprint out of the gate, child prodigies, early entrepreneurs, people who find their thing at 22 and go all in. They look like they're way ahead, and maybe they are in their specific race, but they're also dealing with challenges you can't see: burnout, pressure, the weight of early success, the difficulty of sustaining momentum. Other people are slow starters. They spend their 20s exploring, their 30s finding themselves, their 40s building, their 50s thriving. They look behind for decades. Then suddenly they're not. They've accumulated wisdom, skills, relationships, and resources that compound into something remarkable. Neither path is better. They're just different. Different games with different timelines and different definitions of winning. Here's what comparison does to you. It forces you to adopt someone else's definition of success, someone else's timeline, someone else's priorities. And in doing so, it pulls you away from your own path, your own strengths, your own version of a life well lived. I see this constantly. People in their 20s convinced they need to start a business because that's what successful people do. Never mind that they hate risk and love stability. Never mind that their strengths are in deep expertise, not entrepreneurship. They see the Instagram highlight reel and think that's the only path. Or people in their 30s panicking because they haven't bought a house yet. Never mind that they value flexibility and travel. Never mind that home ownership doesn't align with their goals. They see their peers buying houses and feel like failures. Or people in their 40s feeling behind because they're not executives. Never mind that they've built a life with balance, time for family, work they find meaningful. They see the LinkedIn promotions and question everything. This is the trap, and it's everywhere. Social media has made it worse, but it existed long before that. We're hardwired to compare, to look around and assess our relative status. It's evolutionary. But what worked for survival in small tribes is destroying us in the modern world. Because now we're not comparing ourselves to the 30 people in our village. We're comparing ourselves to the entire internet, to the curated highlight reels of millions of people, to the top 1% of every possible metric, to people playing completely different games with completely different resources and completely different goals. It's insane. And it's making us miserable. Munger understood something crucial. He understood that the key to a good life isn't winning some imaginary race. It's defining your own criteria for success and then living according to those criteria. It's understanding what game you're playing and keeping score accordingly. He called it playing your own game, not in a selfish way, not in an isolated way, but in an authentic way, knowing what you value, what you're good at, what you want your life to look like, and then building toward that, regardless of what everyone else is doing. This sounds simple. It's not. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do, because it requires you to tune out the noise, to ignore the comparisons, to trust your own judgment about what matters. Let me give you a framework, because abstract advice is useless. You need something concrete. First, define your own scoreboard, not your parents' scoreboard, not society's scoreboard, not Instagram's scoreboard, yours. What actually matters to you? Not what should matter, not what you think is supposed to matter, what actually genuinely matters. Is it wealth? Fine. But how much and why? Is it impact? Great. But impact on who? Doing what? Is it freedom? Excellent. But freedom to do what, specifically? Is it family? Wonderful. But what does a good family life actually look like to you? Get specific. Write it down. Because vague goals lead to vague lives. And vague lives are easily derailed by other people's scorecards. Second, identify your timeline. Are you a sprinter or a marathoner? Do you want to build fast and burn bright, or build slow and build deep? Neither is better, but they require different strategies, different sacrifices, different measures of progress. Munger was a marathoner. He built for decades, accumulated knowledge slowly, let insights compound, didn't worry about quarterly results or yearly comparisons. He was playing a 50-year game, while most people were playing a 5-year game. If you're a marathoner comparing yourself to sprinters, you'll feel behind forever. If you're a sprinter comparing yourself to marathoners, you'll feel like you're not building anything lasting. Know which game you're playing. Third, understand your resources. Everyone starts with different advantages and disadvantages, different financial situations, different family support, different education. Different networks, different mental health, different obligations. This isn't about making excuses, it's about being realistic. Someone who started with a trust fund and no student debt is playing a different game than someone who started with nothing and 100,000 in loans. Both can succeed, but their paths will look different, their timelines will be different. Comparing them directly is pointless. Fourth, focus on your rate of improvement, not your absolute position. This is huge. This is maybe the most important thing. You might be behind where you want to be, behind where someone else is, but are you improving? Are you better this year than last year? Are you learning, growing, building, progressing? That's what matters. Not where you are relative to some arbitrary standard, but whether you're moving in the right direction at a sustainable pace. Munger talks about this concept of constant incremental improvement, not dramatic transformations, not overnight success. Just getting a little bit better every day, a little smarter, a little more skilled, a little more disciplined. Compounded over years, that becomes extraordinary. But if you're constantly comparing yourself to people 10 years ahead of you, you'll never see your own progress. You'll always feel inadequate, always feel behind, always feel like you're not doing enough. Fifth, curate your inputs ruthlessly. Unfollow people who make you feel bad about yourself. Stop reading things that trigger comparison spirals. Limit time on platforms designed to make you feel inadequate so you'll keep scrolling. This isn't about hiding from reality. It's about protecting your mental space, about creating an environment where you can focus on your own game instead of constantly being distracted by everyone else's. I did this 2 years ago, unfollowed hundreds of people, deleted apps, stopped consuming content that made me feel behind. And something remarkable happened. I stopped feeling behind, not because my circumstances changed, but because I stopped measuring myself against irrelevant standards. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Most of the people you think are ahead of you are struggling too. They're just struggling differently. They have different problems, different anxieties, different versions of feeling behind. The person with the big house has financial stress you can't see. The person with the impressive job has work-life balance problems you don't experience. The person with the successful business has risk and uncertainty you've avoided. There's no free lunch. Every choice comes with trade-offs. Every path has costs. The grass isn't greener on the other side, it's just different grass. Munger lived this. He made decisions that looked crazy to other people, turned down opportunities that seemed amazing, focused on things that seemed boring. And people thought he was behind, thought he was missing out, thought he wasn't ambitious enough, but he wasn't behind. He was just playing a different game. And he won his game spectacularly, not by their rules, by his. That's what I want for you, not to win some imaginary race against people you don't know playing games you don't care about, but to define your own game, your own rules, your own definition of winning, and then to play that game with everything you've got. You're not behind. You're exactly where you are. And where you are is the only place you can start from. The question isn't whether you're ahead or behind. The question is whether you're moving in a direction that matters to you. So stop looking around. Stop measuring yourself against people playing different games. Stop letting other people's highlight reels dictate how you feel about your own life. Define what matters. Build toward it. Measure your progress against your own standards. And trust that if you do that consistently, over time, you'll end up somewhere remarkable. Maybe not where you thought, maybe not where everyone else is going, but somewhere that's authentically, genuinely yours. That's not being behind, that's being wise. And wisdom, as Munger would tell you, is worth more than speed any day of the week.